All right, everybody. The car goes vroom because we're not here to talk about the anarchy that is Di Marzio's latest on Federico Chiesa. We're here to talk about Formula One because the Monaco Grand Prix happened today. And here to join me is our correspondent, German Dave, because Canadian Dave is somewhere passed out because Ferrari finally got a win today. So Dave is somewhere in a ditch celebrating that Leclerc finally won in Monaco. The Monaco native finally won a race in his hometown. We'll break it down. We'll kind of go over the race a little bit, some of the eventful moments, and some other stats that German Dave has. But German Dave, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm great. My guy was on P2 today. Thank you, Oscar. That was a great race. Even though like nobody could overtake you, you still defended good when Carlos was right behind you. So props to Oscar Piastri Leclerc, how he's called this weekend.
All the action really happened in lap one, huh? I mean, not even turn two, turn three was where we got most of the action. Outside of that, it was just a lock.
If you want to go even a little bit further into the past, the action was determined in qualifying already, because with how the race finished, it is nearly the same. Sorry, they finished in the same order they started the race, which is determined by qualifying. So it didn't. A lot didn't happen. Like it was kind of boring. But I still I really love even the boring races, because there was this some strategy. You didn't know if somebody will come into the pits, if somebody will risk that, giving up the 15 to 20-second gap they had. But yeah, in the end, nobody tried, and that's why lap one basically was pretty essential.
Yeah, and that kind of makes you have the conversation, right? Where it's just like Monaco, you can rarely overtake, you can rarely do anything there. Is it just kept there because of the name and the prestige that the race is?
Yep.
Or is there really not a reason to have the Monaco Grand Prix anymore?
The problem is usually back in the early 2000s and 2010s, where the cars were a lot smaller, you can actually overtake on that track. The cars are shiftier and way more nimble and everything, but now with the 2-meter wide cars and them being 4.5 meters long, it's really hard to have any action, because you can't just put your nose wherever you want, which Magnussen still on Paris, and we see how that ended up. This track doesn't have space to overtake, and we saw 2 to 3 overtakes in the whole race, and one of them was Logan Sargent was following Max Verstappen, while Verstappen was lapping back Marcus, and so Sargent capitalized on one of those, and that was the action basically.
Yeah, and poor Max. Max was stuck in Mercedes jail the entire race. I mean, with Russell and then Hamilton essentially sandwiched in the middle. So nothing really there. And I think kind of just going on to the lack of action, mostly, when the red flag happened, which, was big for Sainz because his suspension kind of went out there where he was trying to do an overtake on Piastri. But, I was looking at the replays of it and it looked like it was just a light little knock, but his entire front left wheel just completely locked on him. And as that happened, the crash in the back happened there. So, it was lucky that he was able to get his car back into the pits for it to be worked on during the stoppage, and then being able to reset back on pole 3, or pole 2, or I'm sorry, 3, which essentially further locked Mr. Leclerc to officially beat the Monaco curse and finally win a race at home. So I guess you could say this was Ferrari's weekend.
Oh, 100%. It was Ferrari's weekend. Like everything went well, like from qualifying into the race. In the first 2 sessions of qualifying, like Leclerc didn't risk a lot really. And in Q3, when he had to, like, he has shown the pace that the car had, and it was a great lap. Monaco is a very short track, so you can't expect like a big gap in terms of time there. That's why they were so close. From P1 to P10 was 7/10 at the most, I believe, the gap. So yeah, qualifying is essential in Monaco. He put it on pole, and great for him that he did that, because it put him in the best position to win the race as well, and also for Sainz to be close, so the McLarens can't basically can't fight against Leclerc with their strategy, where they can call a car earlier into the pits and do an undercut, and then have that one lap on quick, warm, soft tires to take basically when Leclerc would have had to come into the pits. But yep, because they had Sainz there, because Sainz was holding Norris back and pushing Norris into a pit window with George Russell, where Russell, Verstappen, and Hamilton were. That basically, that cemented Leclerc's race, because nobody could put any pressure on him.
Yeah, and smooth sailing, and I think this weekend helps Ferrari a lot if we're looking at the driver statistics here. So, Verstappen's still in the lead with 169. We've got Leclerc at 138, and then you have Norris at 113. So let me ask you this, German Dave: is this closer than what you expected with Ferrari and Red Bull this season so far? Or do you think it's right
It
around the
is.
spot?
Oh, it is way closer than anybody thought it would be, even to the McLaren. And the McLarens are coming into the form. The Ferraris brought a huge update one race ago at Imola, and it will be. I didn't think that I will say that, and I think you didn't think that as well, because you always came to us with some better. We did, for example, match days when we when we did a watch along with Juventus game. We said, "Oh, I guess Verstappen won again today," and stuff like that. And it's crazy that this has developed into this way. But yeah, this happens when you come into you're nearing the end of your regulation change. These regulations have a season and a half left. So the cars are converging, more towards each other. They are copying each other. They are stealing engineers and mechanics and everything from other teams because of the budget cap. For example, Red Bull can keep all their people in the team, and then McLaren can come in with the checkbook, or Ferrari can come in with the checkbook and says, "Hey, we offer you more money, we will promote you into this and that positions," and that's how lots of teams lose their best people. And that is also what happened to Mercedes after the 2021 season, in which Max Verstappen won the championship. That was again the case. That was the last season of that regulation span. They were close in that last season. It came on to the last race, which I still painfully remember. And and then people poached Mercedes engineers and everything. They went to Aston Martin, to McLaren, to Ferrari, and vice versa. And that's why, for example, Mercedes is not in such great shape. And the same thing is happening, I believe, to Red Bull right now. They aren't dominant as last season. I think if it is a normal racing track and not such a street circuit that is so narrow that is very slow, then the Red Bulls are still, of course, the number one team. I think nobody has any illusions with that one. But it's crazy how close Ferrari and McLaren are actually to them, and it's great to see. And not only the driver championship, also the constructor championship, they are close in both of them.
Yeah,
Verstappen is
276 to 252, very, very close between each other.
Yep.
And instead of instead of poaching Red Bull staff, Elkin decided to poach Lewis Hamilton from Mercedes. That'll be interesting to see next year, but a lot
it's
closer.
a great move for Hamilton, man. He goes into the Ferrari right where the Ferrari is catching up to the Red Bull, man. For him, it's a great move.
Yeah, and it'll be all to be determined next season when that actually happens, but very, very close. I mean, the next race that we have coming up is going to be, I
The
believe it is
Canadian
the
GP.
Canadian GP.
Yep,
So,
in 2 weeks.
we'll see how that goes. I'm sure Canadian Dave will be excited. I don't know if he'll be at the race, but we do have the Canadian GP. That'll be June 7th to the 9th. We'll
Yep,
do some videos as well as qualifying as well, and then a little bit of a post race like this. We're not going to be doing live streams, folks. There's going to just be more so pre-recorded videos once we kind of get the flavors out there of us covering Formula One. But hey, at least this season we've got some stuff to watch. It's not like
I'm
we're
very
not
excited.
we're not stuck watching who's going to finish P2 versus P3. We might actually have something here. So if Ferrari continues this momentum in Canada, because I mean this was huge, right? Because Verstappen only gets 6 points off of this race, and Leclerc
Yep,
gets 25. So that's a huge
it's a
opportunity to
huge
cover and
swing.
make some
Yep,
ground.
it's a very big, point swing. Verstappen has still more than a race victory, amount of points, ahead of Leclerc right now. But, yeah, we wouldn't even have thought that we will be in this position that somebody is this close. So I'm honestly very excited.
Yeah, I mean it's what a time to finally watch some competitive F1, right?
Absolutely.
But with that being said, again, shorter style video instead of an hour-long live stream, guys. Do remember to like and subscribe. Join Discord if you want to join Formula One. Also, to the new Formula One folks, we do have a Discord. Link is in the description as well. So if you want to join in on there as well, get into some of the more race discussions. I know Canadian Dave, German Dave are the experts on more of the guppy or the Padawan in this case. But
Yep.
with that being said, guys, we'll catch you on the Wednesday Tinfoil Hat Show. So we'll see you on the next one.